Morning everyone, it's Andy here, Poverty Prospecting. I thought I'd try and show you some of the modifications that were done to the Trommel. It's now Trommel getting Mark IV. The biggest thing that I did was to do a reduction gear. Now the big wheel's 60 tooth, the bottom one's 31, so it's a 1.935 reduction. It's another windscreen wiper motor with a little tooth belt. The other modification I did was these wheels. I was using wheels that I got from the local hardware in Australia called Bunnings, and they were El Cheapo. They were just little wheels like this, and they went in there. Luckily the wheels fitted, even the holes were the same size. But these were about $3 or $4 each as a caster. But because they were piss weak, they wear away. So that was the wheel at the very back. Also because the drum's not perfectly round, and it's a moulded drum, so it all tends to jump around a bit. But anyway, those at $3 each or $4 each versus a set of rollerblades from the second-hand thrift store with bearings was $5 for 2 rollerblades. So I got 4 wheels for the price of $5, and they fitted straight into the original housings. Now a few things I have done is I've had to change it a bit just so it sits up a bit higher. I've chocked it up in places so it touches the drum, and the back ones I've had to offset because when the drum goes in, this part of the drum is actually angled, so to try and reduce the drag on them, I've had to put the wheels at an offset so they sort of spin on a flat surface. The other big modification is because it's been toothed now, we've got a split pin that goes in here and mounts to the drum, because the drum's had a modification as well. It's got a big 4-bolt plate in the bottom now with a bit of stainless, with a stainless mount, and yeah, it does add a bit of weight, but hopefully that'll work. Just to give you an idea, the original concept of this bucket Trommel, the very first video I posted up, that's the old bucket. That was a 25 litre bucket. The bigger drum is out of a 60 litre bucket. Variable speed controller at the back, bit of a splash guard, all the electrical wiring sort of hidden up underneath there, and to help reduce any sort of moisture intrusion into it, I smear everything with Vaseline, so it keeps the water out. The original spray bars there. I'll now put it together and give you a look at it operating. Now people have asked if I wanted to make plans for it. I mean, it's very hard to make plans. All of these fittings were all pop riveted together, so that way I could actually change the size, the length, the height. The original one had 2 bars across there with the direct drive mounted onto it, but because it's all pop riveted together, you can actually get away with just pulling it apart, drawing out the pop rivets and changing the pipe. This part here is mainly to guide the actual drum, but it also holds the spray bar. It's not connected at this side because I've got to put the drum in. So anyway, we'll assemble it and let you have a look at it, see what you think. It's been a long time coming, but it took a fair while to work it all out and nut it all out in my head. The actual motor I was given by a mate. He originally had that as a spit drive. It ran his barbecue spit, so he gave it to me already with a spare belt as well. How about that? That's not bad, for free. So we banged our heads together and come up with the concept of how to get it to work. Hopefully with the 2-to-1 reduction, it'll be able to handle a little bit more load without sort of stalling out constantly. Anyway, pause it here and I'll put it together and we'll see what we can do. Okay, now it's assembled. I'm going to have to come up with another bit of a concept of how to attach the spray bar, because these occasionally get caught on the pop rivets, which sort of stop and jam the bar, stop it from rotating. But because this is a underfloor heating tube, it's got aluminium inside it, so it's quite flexible. You can sort of bend it to shape to get it all in. And I'm going to come up with another mount up here to hold the spray bar into place, and probably pop rivet it so that way it stops rubbing here and catching. Now you may notice that there's a bead of silicone around here. That's a V. That took a fair while to build up. That's to stop the water and make sure it drips into the bottom of the catch area. Anyway, as you can see, those wheels, they're on a angle purely to run as close as I can to a flat surface on here. And it's all pinned together with a R-clip. Not a very big one, but I've got a few spares in case. Another one, the wheel's on an angle, and these wheels barely touch. So sometimes they're touching, sometimes they're not, because the drum is not round. Not perfect anyway, it's roundish. And this is just a test battery, but anyway. That's about the sort of normal speed that we run this thing at. The spray bar is on an angle, so all the water sort of sloshes over here because all your material builds up here and gets washed and dropped in. And then as it's working, those bits, in theory, because they're not rocks, but the rocks tend to work their way out. These wheels tend to get jammed though, but they tend to work their way out, and that's the mods that have been done. So I'm kind of hoping we'll get this thing out in the creek in the next couple of weeks and do another video out in the creek. But as you can see, the drum's not round. It doesn't really touch the wheels very often, and when it does, but it'll probably be different once it's got load in it, because if you load it up, hopefully it'll be able to handle the extra weight of all the material that's going through it. So there you go. And because the wheels were taller, I had to change this. Had to change a fair few things just to get it up and mount it in the right spot. But the tooth belt seems to work quite well. That's on high speed, so hopefully, fingers crossed, it all works. So cheers, Andy, Poverty Prospecting, and Smudge, and Pearl. What are you doing, Smudge? You ready for breakfast? Alright, that's it. Operating. Let's hope that 2-to-1 reduction gear works. So this plate here is just bolted on and welded onto the actual mount. It's got bearings in here, and to adjust the belt, these two bolts in here, they're slotted, and you can sort of jam it in there and tension the belt and everything else. But it had to be made so it was reasonably flexible, because the drum's not round. So this here is just a brace bar, a bit of aluminium angle, and it's not even really attached, so that's just to hold it in place and keep it a bit stiffer. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping that it'll now be able to handle a bit more load. Cheers. Poverty Prospecting, over and out.